Are you one of the millions surprised by Verizon and AT&T raising your rates last year? T-Mobile has price lock guarantee. That means...
What's up, guys? It's Monday. So Cast Mac Chat. I don't have a ton today other than Chip Carey has left the Braves broadcast booth for the St. Louis Cardinals broadcast booth, continuing his family legacy associated with the Cardinals. So there is an opening in the Braves booth. Should be interesting who we decide to go with. I would love Ben Ingram to get a shot. Some outside people, Jason Benetti, Boog Shambi, although John Shambi just signed with the Cubs last year, so I don't see that. Or if we'll go somewhere completely differently, I don't know. But that was a bit of a surprise, but good for him. For the most part, Chip Carey's been part of my Braves watching. Jason Hayward, his debut against the Cubs, Carlos Zambrano, that'll ring true. He's so good at calling the big moments. So that I will always appreciate him for. I mean, yeah, he did have his quirkiness and old school thoughts on baseball, but we've had him so long. The jokes about him were kind of like because he was part of a family of sorts. But that is pretty. So there's that. It'll be interesting to see who we grab to replace him. There's a lot of quality options out there, so we'll see there. We've got we signed Kevin Pillar to a minor league deal last week. If he makes the roster, he'll make $3 million. I think this is a very underrated signing, given Kevin Pillar, veteran, still very solid in the field, and has a 259 career average, 397 homers, 92 stolen bases, and 391 RBIs, and that's nothing to sneeze at. Hey Hudson, that sounds good. I don't know if you caught my beginning, but Chip Carey is heading to St. Louis. I'll miss his ability in the big moments, but I think it'll be nice to see who we get, and a nice change of pace. He's been with the Braves since 2008, so I mean, I love Chip in his big moments, and the Jason Hayward call, his Austin Riley call when Austin got called up, the Ronald Acuna Jr. calls, all those are really good, but I think it'll be nice, and he gets to continue his family legacy, so I don't think that is a terrible thing at all, and the Braves will get a chance to see what we can do, but you can still hear Chip on the Cardinals, and I'm sure he'll still be around. He's certainly a baseball legacy. Harry Carey. Yeah, his dad and his grandpa broadcast big time. Harry, Skip Carey. Yeah, he did. Skip and Pete. So, and Harry was big time in the Cardinals and the Cubs, so it's pretty standard to that. But in terms of the Braves news, other than that, we signed Kevin Pillar to a minor league deal. I think this could be a steal. Yeah, I heard some peaks. I'm 26, so I've been around for mostly Chip Carey. I was a little bit with Boog Shambi. I got Pete a little bit, especially in 08, but Chip Carey's been pretty much the part of my baseball watching life in terms of the Braves. But happy for him that he gets to be closer to family and continue that legacy for sure. And Kevin Pillar, I think he could be an answer in left field. I mean, like I said, 259 average career, 391 RBIs, 397 homers, 92 stolen bases. Really solid in the outfield, which is exactly what we need. And that's the good part about it. I mean, the genuine love for Braves country and the genuine love for Braves baseball does come across, and Chip always did that. So I'm really sad in that way, but happy to maybe get a change of pace to see how different it is, and willing to see how it goes. Obviously, let's see. No. The news just broke, so I'm pretty sure that there isn't. I'm sure they have options and things of that nature, but I think they're letting the Chip part of the news kind of settle and let him have a chance to say goodbye and what he's gonna do. Just as a courtesy, I'm pretty sure they're working on that now, but no news in terms of who will permanently replace him at this time. I'm available, but that probably won't happen. Harry Carey, his grandpa was a huge part of St. Louis, and he was part of St. Louis along with his grandpa and dad for a while before he went to the Cubs and to us. So there's a big legacy there, for sure. Some other news: Ronald Acuna Jr. is going to play for Venezuela in the World Baseball Classic as DH. Obviously, the Braves are going to be careful with him in spring training, just because you don't want anything to go wrong after so much rehabbing and things of that nature last year and all of that stuff. But during Braves Fest, he said that he feels really good, and Ozzie thinks he's going to be better than his 2019 self. So if that happens, the Braves are going to be in really, really good shape. Mike Soroka does not anticipate any restrictions, and he'll be able to fully compete for a starting spot, starting five spot in the rotation. So really happy for him to fully get the chance and fully just focus on baseball, hopefully, and do what he does, because he was a monster on the mound, and I'm hoping to see that again, or shades of that anyway. So that is really, really good to hear and know. Michael A. Taylor was acquired by the Minnesota Twins. So so that's interesting. I think the Twins have a surplus. They might think about Max Kepler, but again, Max Kepler has dealt with a lot of injuries of late and is $7 million, and the Braves are over the luxury tax right now. So I don't know. Plus, pretty left field is still probably the bigger question than shortstop. But so there is that. I don't the big trade that happened end of last week was the Minnesota Twins again acquired Pablo Lopez from the Miami Marlins for Luis Arraez, the 2019 batting champion for the Minnesota Twins. He actually was the batting champion in this past year at 319, I believe it was. He is amazing with the bat. So, and I don't really understand the Marlins plan having Jazz Chisholm shift to center where because Jazz has played second base his entire career. So that's a little confusing. And going to center field, we saw the impact that Michael Harris II had for us in center field. So, I mean, Jazz Chisholm is certainly athletic enough, but there's a lot of pressure on that position. You got Joey Wendell playing shortstop. You got Alicia Arraez playing second, and Gene Segura playing third, where he struggled at times with Philadelphia at short. So it's a little interesting, but their lineup should be pesky if they stay healthy and whatnot. So I can't be too critical of it, even though I think Pablo Lopez is really solid. I think that will really help the Twins rotation. I think it makes them big time favorite-ish in the AL Central. With the addition of adding Carlos Correa again, Kyle Farmer is going to be a sneaky nice piece for them. Pablo Lopez definitely probably gives them the best rotation top to bottom in the AL Central, but I don't know that it gets you past the Yankees and those guys, but still a solid addition. And I think, let's see. Let's see. I'm looking up to see if Pablo Lopez has more under team control.
You work on your feet all day, you need footwear that works overtime. Skechers slip-resistant outsole.
If that's the case, then I think I like it.
Working hand in hand with Skechers.
People today think it's time to have their lives over 50.
Yeah, he's under control for 2 more years, so that's a nice solid get for the Twins on a lot of levels, for sure.
Can sometimes feel really complicated, but it doesn't have to be.
But let's see here. The Braves did have public address announcing auditions at Braves Fest. Those were fun to watch, and Spencer Strider looked like he could. That should be his second job. He was very, very solid at it. For sure. But pretty much the football games were kind of anticlimactic. I was really surprised by the Bills-Bengals result, just how blowout-ish that was. Patrick Mahomes coming back after the sprained ankle, high ankle sprain, I guess, and doing that, and then Chad Henne leading the 98-yard drive was storybook-like, so we'll see how the ankle and stuff fares there. The Eagles, pure domination. Brock Purdy, very solid, and Dak Prescott was not, and that was the tail of the tape on the Dallas and 49er game. Just really solid for Brock. It made the big throws when he had to, and sometimes in those defensive struggle, slobber knocker games, that's what you need. And Brock continues to debunk the Mr. Irrelevant. So that was very nice to see, and I don't know what. Thank you. But I don't know what to expect from. I think the Bengals are on a heater, and Patrick Mahomes' ankle is going to be the biggest issue, obviously, but Steve Spagnuolo's defense with his high pressure and blitzing ability, and I think with the makeshift offensive line, I don't think the Bills took advantage of that enough yesterday. So that is going to be key to see. I believe the other big trade news was in the NBA. Rory Hachimura went from the Washington Wizards to the Los Angeles Lakers for Pablo's was a surprise. We did get 29 runs on him, so he was one that we could solve. But I guess with the Marlins surplus of pitching, that was something. I'm just surprised that they didn't try to get a center fielder or something. But Luis Urias is going to be a pain in the neck for a while, for sure. I mean, I'm shocked at some of the messages that I think I love Chip and his big moments, and what he did for the Braves was awesome, but I'm ready for a change of pace and to see what happens. A lot of people on Twitter are very, very happy to have a change of pace. But I honestly think Chip's been here so long. Like, the jokes are good because he was part of our family, so to speak. So it's kind of easy to joke because he's been around so long. it's gonna definitely be different and a different feel. But I'm excited to see what the next chapter of Braves baseball is. In terms of who is behind the microphone. Maybe me. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah.
Feels good to get my money right.
I will never not appreciate Chip for what he was for the Braves and is for baseball. That's for sure.
No matter where you are, you can see, hear, and speak with whoever's at your door. Check out the Ring Video Doorbell. Learn more at ring.com.
Yeah. Ben would be great at it. And he deserves a shot if he wants it, but I don't know if this is I don't want Joe to come out of the radio booth because Joe actually sounds okay at the radio booth, and that would just be getting an older version of Chip. And yes, we need a youthful, excited guy, and I think the Braves know that. I'm glad that we will have Paul and Kelly back. I think they've been amazing.
Dupixent helps you do more with less effort and can help you breathe better in as little as 2 weeks. Dupixent is an add-on treatment for specific types of
Yeah, I think we're gonna be in a really good place, especially where the team is now. How we're set up. I think it's gonna be fun to see, but really, really exciting. I just hope Brian Jordan is maybe a little less a part of it this year and stays in studio. But that's just a hope of mine. But it would be super cool if they called and were like, hey, you want to do this, but they're not good. But one can dream. One can certainly dream on that one. But we're getting closer and closer to pitchers and catchers reporting, so I'm guessing we'll find out relatively soon. They just
But New York Life's product is different. It's 12,000.
Probably been
responsibilities to be there.
In the works for a while. So
people who know the most valuable things
we will see for sure, but I really don't like the Cardinals, so even though I appreciate Chip, I can't in any way, shape, or form like the Cardinals, so there's that. Excuse me.
Have an H&R Block Tax Pro do your taxes online, and tax season feels just as good as all those other seasons.
And hey, Jameson. And for the record, Chip Caray seems to be an extraordinary person on so many levels. So I wish him the best of luck, and we'll probably definitely end up listening to him at some point still again. No, I don't. No, the Cardinals are like a draw the line. Cardinals, Mets, Dodgers draw the line. Even though I love Vin Scully. So, but yeah, I mean, the only move that we made, Jameson and I talked earlier, was the Kevin Pillar move. very, yeah, and that's all you can ask for from a guy that works in the Braves organization, and he was always very excited and pumped up about Braves baseball, and I always appreciate him for that. And for him to be able to get to continue a family legacy, that can be that's a dream that you can't pass up. And with his kids in broadcasting now too, might be able to see them more frequently as well. So that might have factored in, and family is everything. So wish him the best of luck.
New scratch-offs mean new winners. This month's tickets are packed with
No, we don't. But surprisingly, a lot of people on my YouTube video about it are upset that he's leaving, and I mean not and saying it's a huge loss, and that's not. I'm saddish, but I understand the entire business of it, and like Hudson said, I think the Braves need a younger, just kind of modern baseball kind of voice, and see what happens. Again, I love Chip for all his home run calls, walk-off calls, and all of that stuff. That stuff is unmatched. So that's all that matters there. And then I'm really, really excited that Mike Soroka has no limitations going into spring training. And he was super pumped and amazing at what's a shock, that Chip Caray left, or that Mike Soroka has no limitations?
Going into the locker room, talking to his team, who allowed 68% to happen on his defensive end. So underway in the second half, the spin move by Brazilian will be off the window.
I don't know if yeah, that is true too. The new rules and the differences of baseball now versus yeah, that's a good point too. Just the evolvingness is a word, I don't know, of baseball. That's going to be nice to see. Do we have more faith in Ian Anderson, or? Oh, well, that's just a couple of people on my YouTube. But not the majority are fine with him leaving. We'll just say that for sure. But I'm trying to figure out if I'm more confident in Ian Anderson or well, there was a few other calls that went in y'all's favor, that the 3-point it wouldn't have been a 3-point game anyway there, Hudson, but it's okay. It's a game y'all shouldn't have lost, and I'm surprised we won because y'all were up 19. So being up 19 against a team like us, you got to win. We've only won back-to-back games twice this season, and only have 13 games. Even though like the Hornets have been victimized by the 2-minute report by the NBA the last 4 or 5 years. So
Arena at 7 o'clock Eastern. And it's the rivalry that elevated women's college basketball in the 90s.
Yeah.
UConn and Tennessee.
Yeah, we haven't had calls go our way in about 4 or 5 years, and we've only won back-to-back games twice. So, and the trade deadline's coming up, so I don't see. I hope we just kind of strip it down to the studs. I don't know if we'll be able to get rid of Gordon Hayward's contract. Terry Rozier's probably most likely. Mason Plumlee most likely. And maybe some others, but we're kind of in a difficult spot right now, so we'll see. The Lakers did trade for Yuri Hachimura, the Wizards' big man or forward. 3 second-round picks and Kendrick Nunn go the way of the
We've got a game day crew that will be on site. Studio.
headed to the Wizards. There's maybe the trade deadline stuff has begun. I don't know, but yes, Mike Soroka having no limitations makes my heart warm and fuzzy. So we will see there. But Ian Anderson versus Mike Soroka is kind of interesting. I saw that Ian Anderson has been working out at Wake Forest, hopefully developing another pitch or two, and refining that changeup into fastball command. Who knows? But I think we're gonna need one of those two guys to really step up, because I don't know if you can expect Kyle Wright to have another 20-win season. It would be great, but the regression is probably coming, I would guess. So those two guys are going to be a huge X factor, and Charlie Morton to have a bounce back would be nice and much needed. But he still had 200 Ks. 200 Ks, and even with his even with his home run giving up issues and things of that nature. I wonder how the pitch clock is going to affect the veteran type guys, or if it will at all.
I'm sure that's the same conversation that John Shire's having right now. It'd be one thing if
I don't know. That's going to be something interesting to follow for sure. But and then Michael A. Taylor was traded to the Twins from the Kansas City Royals. So the Twins have done a interesting facelift type of thing this offseason. They kind of have a surplus of outfielders, so maybe something else is coming down the pipeline. But that right there is kind of why I haven't committed to like doing the off-season free agency type videos, because it just keeps things keep happening. Adam Duvall. Thank you for reminding me. Adam Duvall signed a 1-year, $7 million with the Boston Red Sox. The Braves were reportedly not happy with the medicals in his wrist. So they went ahead and let him walk. Love Adam and love what he has done for us. That grand slam in Game 5 lives rent free in my head. Even though we didn't win that game, that was an epic moment. And heck, who knows? He might be traded back to us by July, but he is with the Boston Red Sox now. So that is the news on Adam Duvall. And it's a really good thing that 2/3 of our outfield is figured out, because the other third is about as cloudy, and that's most of the reason why I want spring training to hurry up so we can get some answers there. Yeah, and I just like the team breakdowns, because so many teams. Some teams have made a million moves, and some teams have made like 1 or 2. So, yeah, agreed. Glad he's not in the NL. Yeah, and I'm sad to see him go too, but he's at a team where you can still cheer for him, when obviously not as much when the Braves play him, but I just am having a hard time kind of trying to figure out, like, I don't mind doing the work for those videos at all. Everything keeps changing, so I want to make sure everything is accurate and good, and maybe I should just do like the big signings in incremental videos, just like individual videos, and maybe that way it'll be a lot of videos and a lot of content, but that's what you want. And I just haven't really figured it out completely yet, because there's still so much moving and grooving and things of that nature. But I'll be covering all the spring training stuff, and WBC, I'll try to do some stuff there too. So I just haven't exactly figured out how to execute that, but I will do it. I promised it, so it's gonna happen. So yeah, and Boston, between like Boston, the Cubs, Twins, those guys have had really interesting off seasons that I can't really peg yet, because Boston doesn't technically have a shortstop with Trevor Story's elbow. Those are the 3 most interesting off seasons to me. Most disappointing, probably like the Rockies. They've only made 2 moves. Baltimore, they made a couple moves, but I thought they would be a little more active, given the step forward they took. They took this year. I think Arizona is another interesting pesky one. So those are just kind of talking out of nothing there, but yeah, most disappointing, definitely the Rockies, probably above everybody else because they only made 2 moves, and Baltimore for sure. I thought the Milwaukee Brewers would add more thump. I mean, they did get William Contreras in the trade with us, but I don't know. I don't know if they're gonna have enough offense. So that's an interesting one. Detroit, although they've committed completely to the rebuild. I forgot about Chris Bryant. Ugh. Oh, and the only other news that I didn't say is the Angels are not, their owner is not selling them, so that kind of puts the purgatory weird situation kind of thing. Yeah, the first week or two of spring training, and then I might just do it team by team instead of division by division, because if division by division is 4 each, and then I would have to put it together. So that might be a good idea. Thanks, Jameson. The Rockies are kind of like a disgrace to baseball in terms of like they have a good facility, they have a great stadium, and they're just like, and they gave Nolan Arenado away for Doritos and a Gatorade, pretty much the top 3 third basemen in baseball. It just doesn't seem like they're half in, half out, but they never add. So that's just very weird. And obviously no one wants to pitch in Colorado because it's the obviously, but I'm very confused in terms of the Rockies. Yeah, I did. Chip is leaving the Braves for the St. Louis Cardinals, and we have not yet got word as to who is going to replace him. But yes, he is leaving. Why did he stop caring after doing all of that? That sounds amazing. That seems that seems not fair. Yeah, I mean the Athletics, they need a new stadium before you can even talk about it, but they've even been good and in the conversation the last. I think I've said this a lot, but I think Chip Caray, I think it'll be nice for the Braves to have a younger voice with the team that we have, and Chip Caray being able to be with his family. And the family legacy is big time. So I think it's the best move for all involved. But yeah, I think the Athletics are like the Rockies, but the Athletics have kind of an excuse because their stadium is terrible. And until the Athletics move stadiums, I don't think it's gonna matter. But the reality is the A's have been good in pockets, and the Rockies, the last time that the Rockies were good was 2007, and they were okay. They were okay from 2007 to 2010, but yeah, I just don't think the Rockies really care, and that's a bad thing for baseball, and it's a bad thing for everyone involved. It's always fun to when you have random teams that are quality and that are that give baseball parity.
Flip says no parts of that. You will get no bacon here, not on.
Yeah, the radio announcers for the Braves are amazing. So you still have that regardless, I think. So that is good, and it'll be fun to.
When we go back to what Andrea was talking about previously, you see Derek Line.
Yeah, going to places with half and half, and the Braves being so good, I bet that was super, super fun to go to. I'm really hoping to get to
Collins comes away with it.
Yeah, I think you might be right. I can't remember. For some reason, I can't remember that, but the last time I remember the Rockies being consistent was 07 to like 10, and then they had a couple of good seasons here or there, 17 and 18. Although for some reason I really don't remember that. But you live there, so I'm pretty sure.
Nice work.
It's a definite accuracy there, but yeah, between the Rockies and A's, it's kind of gross.
That's why it's not a good deal.
Detroit seems to at least be trying the rebuild thing.
Replay is brought to you by Progressive. One thing no one would challenge: protecting your home and auto with Progressive.
Sorry, I had to relive that.
Sonic cheeseburgers are made with 100% beef and melty American cheese.
Um,
To your car, which is great if you think 58 degrees is cold. Sonic cheeseburger.
Yeah, that's
There's some things that go better together.
that's how you're supposed to react when you like to see other players, but you don't want them to win the series against your favorite team. That's perfect. But yeah, Detroit seems to be trying to do the rebuild thing well, but they're still kind of stuck with the they're still kind of stuck with the Miguel Cabrera contract, even though I think he's retiring this year, so that'll help them in a way. Although Spencer Torkelson has kind of not been number one pick material for them as much as everybody wants them. The Royals, you can't really figure them out. The Reds, they did really good in the Luis Castillo trade. But I think if you're talking,
Call 1-800-DIRECTV to guarantee your price for 2 years.
yeah, being out of market and Braves radio. That's why Ben Ingram gets a shot. I would not be sad. I would be sad for the radio side of it, but I think it would be amazing if that's what he wants to do. I just hope they don't throw Joe Simpson back in the TV booth, because I think he's so much better in the radio booth. I think 3 surprising teams that could work for a wild card. Yeah. Jim Powell, yes, that would work. I think some sneaky teams to watch for the wild card this year on January 23rd, as it is. would be for me maybe the Marlins, Cubs, and obviously I think San Diego. Well, I think those are the three teams in the NL. Maybe the Brewers, because I think the Cardinals will be there again. In the American League, Seattle, Angels, and maybe the Guardians or Twins again, because it seems like that Terry Francona is still around, so he knows all of it.
Being in game shape is completely different, and again, not practicing for 2 weeks, trying to practice mix. We'll see if he's capable of making the plays that he made in the Miami game. Proctor, the open shooter.
But yeah, I mean, the Rockies are just a disgrace.
He absolutely can. Mike Young loves him, feels like he's going to be great for the Hokies into the future, but asking him to do a lot right now as a freshman.
Right now, dude. I'm going to say yes, the Angels make the playoffs as a wild card. Yes, as a wild card, and sure, you can hold me to it. I just think baseball would be better if Mike Trout's in the playoffs, but also, I did forget, Dana Brown, our scouting director, is unfortunately the lead candidate for the general manager for the Astros job, so that's kind of annoying. Yeah, I mean, for sure, and these Castmac chats are going to be a lot more fun in like February and stuff when I get to talk about like the games and the spring training stats and all that jazz. That's going to be super fun, and I can't wait for that. And I will also cover the WBC, and I'll probably do a live watch broadcast of when the Braves spring training stuff comes on the TV, so I'll do that as well. So that'll be super fun and have a lot more content and stuff to talk about. But we do a pretty good job of just randomly chatting, and thanks to guys like Hudson and Jameson and the new people that come in here. It really helps out a lot, and it's just super fun. So thanks guys for that, for sure.
Kyle Filipowski showing off his ball handling ability, the crossover, and then the drop off to Derek Lively for the finish, and then getting out on the break, the Euro, the lefty finish. Doing it in every facet of the game right now for Flip.
Yeah, only 65 days until opening day, and the Braves pitchers and catchers report on February 16th, I think. So, very, very close. Very, very happy. Even though off seasons are fun and entertaining and interesting in their own way, and they are. This one was definitely. And there's definitely Oh, I agree. I hope Dana doesn't get picked for the Astro job. I think we've gotten lucky keeping him around for as long as we have. I thought he was gonna go for the White Sox job, but he didn't. So maybe we'll get lucky. I doubt it. But I did want to real quick.
Living with eczema, we're used to this feeling. It's time your skin gets used to a different one with Opzelura.
Yeah.
With eczema,
He is now with the St. Louis Cardinals, and not a lot of people are too sad about it. I mean, sad because Chip seems like a great person, but I think we're all pretty cool with getting a new voice for sure. But Jameson, I did want to ask you real quick. Did the Tennessee Titans hire OC yet?
discover the feeling of relief at your fingertips with Opzelura, a cream that helps you nourish clear skin. Ask your dermatologist about Opzelura today.
There's going to be a lot of movement in terms of football coaches and things of that nature too. That's going to be interesting. I do not want Sean Payton. I don't want to give up draft pick for coaches. I don't like it, but who knows what's going to happen with our lovely owner and the way he does things. So we will see. But
You can see, hear, and speak with whoever's at your door. Check out the Ring Video Doorbell.
yeah, I mean,
Learn more at ring.com.
there's like 9 OC openings and like 5 or 6 defensive coordinator openings and 5 head coaching openings, and a lot of quarterbacks probably going to do musical chairs. So that's going to be fun to follow for us football fans, and we'll see how this. Yeah, I did like that GM hire you guys had, because plucking anybody from the San Francisco 49ers right now seems like a really, really good idea, and he seems to have good head on his shoulders, especially with Mike Vrabel, and his coaching ability is nice as well. So I think you guys are going to be fine and soon. So I did want to make sure I said that. But I think that is pretty much all I got for me. I think I'm going to do the top 5 videos did really, really well with the burning questions. So I think I might do top 5 spring training battles. Maybe top 5 spring training battles, top 5 X factors, that kind of thing. In this little window before all of the stuff starts with spring training and all that stuff, I think I'm gonna continue that momentum. If you guys have any ideas and things you want to see, be good to let me know.
He can step out and guard defensively, and that's what makes him so valuable. If you play a guy like this at the center position in the NBA, he is going to be a matchup problem for so many different teams. Get it on the high post.
But yeah, I love what I do, and I.
Shot clock now down to 6. Padula wants to fire up a long 3, but no. Rebound loose in the corner.
Duke and Virginia Tech are tied at 65 on ESPN with 7:30 left, so that's wow.
We talked about Jerry Rhodes with the tough bucket on one end. Vasily doing the same here for the home. Well, he's got 20 points.
That
26.
yeah, 40. That's nice.
So he could be a major
PJ, I do not at this point. I don't. I think we're gonna watch and see what happens. I think we're gonna watch and see what happens a little bit in spring training before. Obviously, the Marcelo Zuna of it all, having $32 million in him, kind of hinders everything, and being over the luxury tax has a big time effect there. And yes, the 40-man roster refresher would be a really good one. Thanks, Hudson. Yeah, winging it before the trade deadline, and kind of seems likely at this point. I mean, there's obviously going to be a battle, but I think we should realize that I don't think Eddie Rosario is going to be as bad as he was with his hole in his eye last year, and I obviously don't think he's going to be Babe Ruth like he was in in the playoffs in 2021, but I think he's going to be somewhere in between, for sure. So that could factor in as well. But yeah, I mean, I don't like the word winging it, but that's probably the best. No, but if I see Marcelo Zuna noodle arm in left field, I'm gonna puke. So as long as that doesn't happen, I'm good. Yeah, they do, and I think you mean rent? What do you mean by rent? You mean like trade for a rental for Pacioretty, or what exactly are you referring? Yeah. But yeah, I mean, Hudson's right with the left field. It's
Oh yeah. You come in, you're gonna be hearing that sizzle. That's how you know we always have fresh food.
Exactly. I'm not the biggest expert in terms of Canes, in terms of moves and news and players and things of that nature, just because I just kind of really got into hockey the last couple of years. But from what I've read and seen, and the Canes really don't like to trade big for a rental. I've seen the most likely upgrade will be a centerman, or maybe a defenseman to help with the power play. Tony DeAngelo has been a name that's been bantied about because he was so good with us when he was with us for that 1 year. So, but from what I can tell, they don't like to spend big for huge rentals. So it should be interesting, but that is, as far as I know, the plan for the Hurricanes right now. Obviously, the deadline is March, the first week of March. Yeah, and my nickname for Marcelo Zuna is Wet Socks, so especially the way he was at the plate last year. He was like looking to walk, so he wasn't even looking to hit. So it was like a lost year on so many levels. I hope I answered your question, PJ. And thanks for coming in. It's always nice to have new conversations and new things to talk about. So again, thanks for your support and all of that stuff. But yeah, I would love to get rid of Marcell Ozuna, but again, I've said this the entire offseason. $32 million is hard to get rid of. And actually, honestly, I feel like he's much better liked than a guy like Trevor Bauer. So, and yeah, and the reality is you don't have to like every player that's on your team, and Marcell Ozuna officially is definitely that for me for the Braves, but he's just the DH and he has signs of life for a rebirth. I can grin and bear it, but if we were to somehow get rid of him, I wouldn't be sad either. But that's just the reality of left field, and it's a clouded mess, but it's all good. I trust the process because typically in spring training, those things work themselves out. And I feel like somebody is going to come out of nowhere and take a stranglehold of that job. And I really hope that kind of happens. I hope that kind of happens for the 5th starter spot as well. Yeah, he does. Second chances, third chances. What is this? Will be his 3rd chance, I think. So, and there's going to be abilities to, and this is probably his last one, so he's got to figure it out. And a guy, and this is probably not accurate but a guy that I wouldn't mind the Braves taking a look at would be like a guy like Chad Pinder. He played for the A's. He can play infield and outfield. He can play left field. He's more stable in terms of what we're going to get production-wise. And we love the A's, and I just think that versatile Omar Infante type guy we really don't have, where he can play everywhere, and I think he would be a really nice addition. I don't think that we'll do it, but I mentioned that a few weeks ago. But that's big time there. That I would love to see. Yeah, the A's are definitely they're struggling, and they're not going to be anything until somebody gives them a new stadium. We talked about that earlier, but Pinder is a free agent still on the market, and I think a guy like Michael Wacha is too. Maybe not. I could be wrong on that, but if we want to go veteran-wise, starting rotation, but it looks like we're going to go internal for that.
At AT&T, we give everyone my best deals on every smartphone. Get up to $1,000 off on our most popular smartphone.
But I'm really really happy with all the different conversation tonight, and I'm surprised that I got so much because I didn't really have a full list of things to talk about, but we've
And winning 4 games in a row, and more importantly, knocking off North
So
Carolina
this is-
and Duke on their way to the championship game, on the way to holding the first ever ACC tournament championship.
So it's been really good, really cool. Covered a lot of topics, a lot of fun stuff, and thanks guys for joining. I will next week, same spot. Hopefully we have some more stuff to talk about. I think the Hall of Fame voting and things of that nature will be done by next week, so we'll have that to talk about. Hopefully Andrew Jones gets in, Billy Wagner, all that stuff. So see ya. Make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. These watch hours help me out a lot. Thanks for all the great conversation. See y'all next week, and as always, go Braves, champions forever.
SID for the Duke Blue Devils, the basketball team, Mike turning, I think he said 23 today. With maybe the 21st anniversary of his 23rd birthday. There's I got Mike.